Here's to another random fact about me until my album releases. Now, I didn't really know how to feel about my last share. I'm trying to see what information I can share with you guys. Here it is. So throughout my life, I've moved a lot of times. A lot, okay? I was born in Texas, lived in Mexico for like 2-3 years, I believe. And then after that, I moved to Virginia, moved around in different cities in Virginia, and then came back to Texas, moved around different cities in Texas. But the thing is that ever since I was very small, I was very curious about who God was in my life. Even though my family was very Catholic while we were living in Mexico, there was a day where 2 ladies showed up at my parents' door in my house in Mexico. Now I understand that they were Jehovah's Witnesses. They came to the house, asked if they could come in to share the Bible. My parents were very quick to kind of tell them that they weren't really welcomed, but I did tell my mom that I wanted to hear about who they thought God was. Because I insisted so much, my parents allowed them to come into the house. They came, they shared about God. I had a million questions. Some of the things that they were saying, I mean, at that age, I was a little confused. It wasn't truly making sense. And they continued to come around until then they stopped coming. I truly don't even know what happened. I probably still need to ask my parents whatever happened to them. Fast forward, when we actually ended up moving to Virginia, there was a designated day in our 3rd grade class that we would go to like this church to learn about God. I don't know if this was part of the school or if it was something that my 3rd grade teacher, she just did, but that further intrigued me. I started going to this Christian school with my 3rd grade class. I had a lot of questions. During that time, there was like a bus that was going around these apartments in the 2nd city that we lived in, Virginia, just picking up kids. I know that sounds so bad, y'all. Believe me, nowadays you hear that, you probably want to stay away. But at that time, they were picking up kids to take to church. Just randomly. I actually asked my parents and pleaded with them to let me go. They allowed me with my younger brother, and we had Sunday school, and that's where I actually started to learn more about Jesus and what he did. Thankfully, they were super patient with all of my questions also. This is where I started to learn the difference between what I was raised with as a Catholic and Christian, in the sense of like having a relationship with God. I hadn't given my life to God yet because I still didn't understand all of that. Some years later, we moved to another city in Virginia, and guess what? There was another bus that would go around picking up kids to take to a church every Sunday morning. When I found this out, my little brain was like, ooh, another bus that picks up the kids, yay. I know that sounds freaky, but I don't know why this kept happening, okay? But I asked and pleaded with my parents to please allow me and my siblings to go to this church. They let us. It was another church that we would go to and learn about God. Then shortly after that, sometime later, my mom first got invited to know about God. And that's later on, and during that time is when I gave my life to Christ. That's just another interesting fact about me. Ever since I was young, I could see God pursuing me, but he always brought people to my life that would share something, whether I understood it fully or not. All through my life, I've seen God bring people in different seasons of my life. Ever since I was young, I've just always known God to be that way, and I don't know anything different. I've always known him to show up and I've least expected it, and give me a message when I least wanted it or expected. That's kind of an inside look overall on my relationship with God, I guess, and how it all started, but it's a random fact. So yeah, pretty much.